Welcome back, and welcome to Grammar Lesson 2, which is about intransitive complete verbs. Don't worry, it's not nearly as complicated as the name suggests. Before we begin, let's have a quick review. In Lesson 1, we learned that grammar is the study of the way sentences are used to construct language, and that using proper grammar allows you to communicate in a way that helps you get what you want. We learned that a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. And a complete sentence has a subject and a verb and can stand on its own and make sense. Excellent. And that brings us to Lesson 2. Here we go. If a complete sentence must have a subject and a verb, how do you know if it has a subject and a verb? Well, a sentence must answer two questions. These two questions will help you find your subject and your verb. The first question is, what is happening in the sentence? And the second question is, who or what is doing the verb? If you can answer the question, what is happening in this sentence, then you have identified the verb. The verb is happening in the sentence. And if you can figure out who or what is doing the verb, then you know what the subject of the sentence is. And we're going to be asking these two questions so often that it's going to become second nature to you. So let's look back at this sentence. Remember this one from Lesson 1? He bought a silver Mustang with a sunroof. What is happening in this sentence? Well, someone is buying something, right? The thing that's happening is a purchase is being made. What is happening in the sentence? Bought. And who or what is doing the buying? He is. So he is my subject and bought is my verb. He bought a silver Mustang with a sunroof. All right, let's take a look at a couple of other sentences just for fun. Many drivers love Mustangs. What's happening in this sentence? Well, there's a lot of love happening in this sentence. And who or what is doing the loving? Is the Mustang doing the loving? No, it's the drivers who are doing the loving. Many drivers love Mustangs. We have a subject and a verb in that complete sentence. The next sentence says, because of the cool factor. What's happening in this sentence? Now, you might infer what's happening in this sentence because we just read a sentence that says many drivers love Mustangs. You might infer that the drivers love Mustangs because of the cool factor. I see how you might infer that, but because of the cool factor is not a complete sentence. There is nothing actually happening in this attempt at a sentence. There is no verb in this group of words. So this is really confusing. If I walk into a room and said, because of the cool factor, and then walked out without any explanation, you would have no idea what I'm talking about. It's just not a complete sentence. This is one of those sentence fragments. Okay, moving on. Intransitive complete verbs. It's a big name for a small thing. If we break down the word intransitive, you might notice that it has the prefix in, which translates to not or no, like incompatible or insane. The middle of this word is trans, which means movement, or change, like transportation or transformation. In this case, an intransitive complete verb is complete without any movement of ideas or any changes in thought that need to be explained somewhere else in the sentence. An intransitive verb is complete all by itself. In the little school, you may have called these action verbs. But what they didn't tell you is that there are different kinds of action verbs used for different situations. Here in the big school, we'll start with intransitive complete verbs. For our first several lessons, if you want to think of intransitive complete verbs as action verbs, that's okay too. It's time to learn how to annotate a sentence. This is the foundational skill we'll learn, not because you're going to have to annotate sentences in order to get a bank loan, but because it's the best way for me to know that I know what you are talking about. Let's take a look at a few sentences. In this first sentence, lions roar. What's happening in this sentence? That's the intransitive complete verb. We annotate a verb by drawing two lines under it. and then we label what kind of verb it is. In this case, it's an intransitive complete verb, so I see, and then put a circle around that. The second question we ask ourselves is who or what is doing the verb. Lions are doing the roaring, so lions is our subject, and the way to annotate a subject is to underline it once. And that's it. There's no need to write the letters S, V, or the words subject and verb, because the single line already tells us that lions is the subject, and this double line already tells us that roar is the verb. Let's take a look at another sentence. The next sentence is scissors cut. For every sentence in this entire grammar course, we need to begin by asking the two big questions. Question number 1, what is happening in this sentence? Cut. That is the action. That is the thing that is happening. So we underline it twice because that's the verb. What kind of verb? Well, we only know one kind of verb so far, so we can be pretty confident that this is an intransitive complete verb. Question number 2, who or what is doing the verb? Scissors. Scissors are doing the cutting, so scissors is the subject. Underline that once. There are only 2 words in this sentence, and we've annotated both of them, so we're done here. Another one, time passes. What's happening in the sentence? Passes. Who or what is doing the passing? Time. And what kind of verb is this? We know that passes is an intransitive complete verb. Excellent. Again, fire burns. What is happening in this sentence? Burns. That's the action that is happening. That's an intransitive complete verb. Who or what burns? Fire. That's the subject. Voila. One more. Chefs make. Okay, hang on a minute. This doesn't make any sense unless you're Tarzan. Chefs make? Chefs make what? This looks like a sentence because it has a capital letter at the front and a period at the end, but this is not a sentence. This thought cannot make sense on its own without further explanation. This is a sentence fragment. So we're done here. Okay then, time for review. In this lesson, we learned the 2 questions that will guide everything we do for the rest of this course. I don't know why this slide looks a little funny, but that's okay. The answer to the first question, what is happening in this sentence, will always reveal the verb of the sentence. So far, we only know one kind of verb, so it's going to reveal our intransitive complete verb. The answer to the second question, who or what is doing the verb, will always reveal the subject of the sentence. We also learned that verbs are annotated by underlining the verb twice and labeling the type of verb in a circle above the verb. Subjects are annotated by underlining the subject once. Verb, subject. This is an intransitive complete verb. And that's it. You're finished. Great job.